swept. I think he swept Legacy and only lost 1 in Standard, and I think that was better than he was expecting. Standard, not the format that he wanted to be really playing, but yeah, very, very good Legacy player. So here is our backup match. We've got Reid Duke versus Christopher Walton. I believe they're tied up at 1 game apiece here, even though that says 0 versus 1 up there. Last we heard, Reid had come back and won a game. There it is. 1 game apiece here in round 9. Reid Duke with a Bant list. We don't have the deck lists just yet. We're getting those right now, actually. Chris on Reanimator. How much is Reid able to interact with a Reanimator list?
Well, he has Plows. He has Force of Will.
Okay.
I'm guessing he has a Humility in the sideboard, so it's certainly in his deck for this game.
Yeah.
4 Force of Will, 1 counter spell came in from the sideboard. 4 Swords to Plowshares in the main deck.
So we see an Entomb on the stack here from Christopher Walton. Noble Hierarch has joined Reid's side of the board while we were looking at the deck lists. And it looks pretty early here in the game. This looks to be Chris's maybe second turn. He's going to Entomb a Gristlebrand. Could be Chris's third turn, given that he lost the last game, so it's likely his third turn here.
Not a lot of cards in hand. Looks like only 3.
Yeah, we've seen, or we didn't see it, but it looks like he has cast a Careful Study, but yeah, not much in hand. But a Reanimate targeting Gristlebrand will certainly put some cards in his hand if it resolves. Reanimate on the stack.
So if Reid has a way to deal with this, he's going to cast it. And it looks like he does have a Force of Will removing Daze.
Yeah, so that was a key moment there. If he was not able to do that, Christopher would have possibly been able to run away with things, at least drawing a bunch of cards if Reid was unable to deal with the Gristlebrand. But he keeps Gristlebrand off the table there. And now on Reid's turn, with a Noble Hierarch, a Forest, and an Island, he has access to all 3 of his colors. And he has no land drop and passes back.
Is that another Reanimate? Guess not.
And a Vendilion Click at end of turn meets a Daze from Christopher Walton. Chris passes back to Reid.
So what Reid probably does want to find is a way to get his Scavenging Ooze into play.
Scavenging Ooze would do some nice work on Chris's graveyard if it can hit the board. Noble Hierarch the play from Reid as he passes back, so he's got 2 Hierarchs, 2 lands, and that's all that Reid's got available.
So curious that Reid didn't attack with his second Hierarch leads me to believe that he probably has his counterspell in hand. I can't really make out Reid's hand at all, but
yeah, he does have counterspell. Actually, I can see the actual counterspell itself in hand. And this looks like a Green Sun Zenith here for 2.
It's going to get, no doubt it's going to be Scavenging Ooze.
And there it is, Scavenging Ooze on the table. Chris Walton trying to get Gristlebrand into play earlier. Can't resolve the Reanimate, and at this point is just trying to sculpt a way to, or trying to find a way to get that Gristlebrand into play. Looks like he has yet to find a reanimation spell.
Another green land from Reid too is very important now. If Christopher was able to cast a second Entomb and then an Exhume or something, he'll be able to eat both creatures.
So it looks like for Christopher's turn, he has nothing to play, and so Reid is going to immediately remove the Gristlebrand here at the end of Chris's turn. Pumping up the Scavenging Ooze. And now Reid actually going to go ahead and crack the Misty Rainforest and maybe get a little more action out of that Scavenging Ooze.
Probably just remove his own Vendilion Click to make the clock a little faster.
Seems like a solid plan. He finds a Tropical Island. And yeah, Reid looks to have a couple of cards in hand, but that Scavenging Ooze is probably the most important card in the game that we've seen so far. All right, Reid's going to go ahead and untap. He does indeed remove the Vendilion Clique, as you mentioned. So the Ooze is now a 4/4. Reid with 3 cards in hand, and that Ooze attacking alone gets 2 Exalted triggers, so it'll put Chris to 13. Alright, Reid's got another play. He's going to play a Green Sun Zenith for 1 here. Looks like maybe another Noble Hierarch,
I think so, yeah.
Trying to triple up on those Noble Hierarchs on those Exalted triggers, and here he comes for 7.
Obviously the big difference there is it's now a 3-turn clock instead of a 4-turn clock.
Going to knock Chris to 12 here. And Chris is going to have to find something very quickly if he wants to win this game and match. Both players keeping their cards somewhat hidden from the cameras.
Looks like Chris has 3 Pithing Needle, 2 Echoing Truth, 2 Engineer Explosives in his sideboard. He's going to need one of those 3 cards at the very least to deal with the Scavenging Ooze before he has any chance to do anything.
So Chris passes back to Reid, and Reid now thinking about his turn here. Likely going to see just another attack from that Scavenging Ooze, depending on what we've got in, or what Reid's got in his hand. And 3 mana, all from the Noble Hierarch. So a Green Sun Zenith for 2 here.
Caselli Pride Mage. This is actually pretty relevant. My guess is that in the first 2 games, Reid has seen Thoughtseize out of Chris's deck. So what happens now is the Ooze hits for 10, and it takes Thoughtseize away from Chris. What Reid can actually do, if in theory, would be to Pride Mage of the Lotus Petal, eat the Pride Mage, and put him to 1, or did I miscount?
Yeah, it looks like, yeah, well, either way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's trying to do all the math with the Exalted creatures and the adding in the extra creatures from the Ooze. But either way, Christopher Walton unable to muster a defense against the Scavenging Ooze, and Reid Duke, as you predicted, came back after losing game 1 to win 2 more games, and 2 games to 1 with Bant over Reanimator here in round 9 of our Legacy Open, live from Indianapolis.